definitely a big memory of my first two albums ever purchased.
Okay.
One seems logical, the other one doesn't. First album purchase was New Edition's first album.
Okay.
Because, every kid had the waves and, into pop, and that music transcends culture. It reached Jamaica and I knew about it and I wanted it.
Okay.
The second one, I just liked the album cover and I'm surprised my mother approved it. It was Rick James' first album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Rick James and New Edition?
Those two albums, I think it was Sam Goody.
Okay.
So I don't know how I got...
Hey, welcome to Travel Tuesday Happy Hour, where we interview dope people doing dope things from around the world, and we are in Season 4, Voyage 22. Before I begin, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, and click that notification bell so that you guys can get notifications, so when we drop new episodes, you're on top of it. And today we have one of our guests, very close friend of the bride, becoming close friend of mine, Mr. Rhamon. Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
All right, I'm Rhamon Daly. I'm an educator at a school in the South Bronx. I've been an educator for almost 20 years now, over 20 years now. I'm getting old. Also do a lot of volunteer work. I'm very active in my fraternity's chapter, Omega Psi Phi, salute to the bros on that.
Roo.
And just a lover of life, man.
Okay, so where are you from?
I was born in Jamaica. And I immigrated to the United States, landed in the Bronx, so all my Northeast Bronx. If you're Jamaican, West Indian, and you went to the Northeast Bronx, so White Plains Road, Dyer Avenue, East 33rd, all of that. So around that area, then I moved to and grew up in Co-op City.
Nice. So Jamaica, coming from Jamaica to here was technically like your first trip, right? Like
essentially, yeah.
Trip? Okay.
Yeah, well, the permanent move was my second international trip. The first time was when my mom came up.
Okay.
And, that had definitely a big memory of my first two albums ever purchased.
Okay.
One seems logical, the other one doesn't. First album purchase was New Edition's first album.
Okay.
Because, every kid had the waves and, into pop, and that music transcends culture. It reached Jamaica and I knew about it and I wanted it.
Okay.
The second one, I just liked the album cover and I'm surprised my mother approved it. It was Rick James' first album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So Rick James and New Edition?
Those two albums, I think it was Sam Goody.
Okay.
So I don't know how I got away with it. My mother must have not known who Rick James was.
Okay.
But I like the album cover, so I got it along with the New Edition.
Oh,
so
man.
that was my first trip abroad.
Okay, so fast forward, you now have your own money. You can move around the way you want. What was like your first trip that like you realized this wasn't a forced trip? This is something I wanted to do for myself.
Really nothing, nowhere really far. Going to Canada.
Nice.
Because, again, the West Indian connection to Toronto. So I wanted to see what Canada was like because I had a few relatives who immigrated there from a tropical island to the North Pole, in my opinion. But, going to a different city and seeing life outside of New York City, and it's also a major city, it was definitely a contrast. And my question is, why can't we have it like that, being that Toronto is so clean, it's very organized,
definitely,
you know what I mean? People are still walking fast because, again, it is a major city in that country. But that was the most striking thing about going to Canada for the first time.
So what has been your most memorable trip so far?
Memorable trip, Puerto Rico. It's not international, but Puerto Rico was beautiful.
Oh, really?
It's one of those trips where typically if I go anywhere, I just want to relax and enjoy the city at my own pace. And Puerto Rico, I was up and down. Like one day off, another day excursion. One day off, another day excursion. Got to see the rainforest, El Yunque. Went there with a girlfriend I was dating, so I carved a little heart in the bamboo. A corny little story. Got to see a bioluminescent bay that they have there, and the different beaches that are in Puerto Rico, and then Old San Juan if you go there, and just experiencing the food. When I travel, it's all about the food for me. I want to taste what the locals have. I want to try the sweets. Do a little research before you go just to see, okay, I think I might like this or I think I might not like this.
Gotcha.
And then try to explore at your leisure.
So would you say like you're inspired by food to travel,
Yeah,
or
food. It's always food.
it's food, culture, and just learning new places?
It's food and culture because you're gonna to me you're gonna experience if you're open.
Right.
You're gonna be receptive to the culture that's surrounding you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do a lot of international traveling. That's something I'm committing myself to now that the pandemic took away that opportunity. I said,
Right.
oh snap,
Right.
I haven't done that as much as I should, but I've
Yeah.
been to a lot of different states and stuff, and that's every state has a different culture.
Gotcha.
Every state has a different culture, and the food is different too. And I'm there for the food.
Yeah. Listen, I'm
monuments
here
are
for the food.
cool, but I'm there for the food.
I got you. I got a shirt just for you. I'm here for the food. So with that being said, like, do you have, like, now that you've gotten a taste of leaving the United States, do you have like a bucket list? And what's maybe 5 on that bucket list?
Definitely.
In particular order.
Greece. Going back to Africa, maybe South Africa.
Nice.
Flying into Lisbon, I saw the topography and the land.
That's nice, ain't it?
I need to go there just to check it out. Experiencing the UK as an adult because I went as a child and I had a blast for 7 days that I was there.
Nice.
So I want to experience the UK, different parts of the UK as an adult. And lastly, Thailand. Far East. If I can stand that 24-hour trip, I'm definitely going.
I would say break it up if you can, so here's a quick tip. So if you could break up your trips, find a connecting flight in one of those cities that you wanted to visit, and that way you can do maybe 1-2 days there, and then do the rest, and then fly back to Thailand. And on the way back, you can find I don't know, as a teacher, you might not have a lot of extra time, but if you could finagle,
sometimes it's a little bit flexible.
If you could finagle the time, try to find a way to maximize the experience by seeing multiple places. Because I think if you're going to go that far out, take advantage of the time while you can. So you mentioned going back to Africa. So Voyage 22 was all about Marrakesh, Morocco. What was it like? First of all, I'm not sure what message you got, right? So there was a message, yo, we got a trip. Come on, here's the cost. Pay up. Versus the second question, which the second one was, hey, we're having a wedding in Morocco. Here's the information. Which one was
I think we were here when we got the message about getting married. I was like, okay, we here. We did. Always wanted to, put my feet on the motherland, on the continent somewhere. And this was the perfect opportunity. And like I said, my committing myself to traveling more as a result of the pandemic taking that opportunity away for a while, for a lot of people. So going there was definite. It was happening.
Gotcha.
Because it's right there in my lap. There's people that I love and care about. And I was going to be amongst friends as well.
Nice. So educators like you are like, not all of them. Some educators are like, well, this is a very expensive trip. I can't afford it on the teacher's / administrative salary. Tell the people, how were you able to, not trying to be in your pockets, but the show's about inspiring people to travel. What did you do to make sure that you made the commitment mentally, but financially and just following through?
It wasn't as bad as what I thought it might be.
Okay.
I think that the best thing that I did was put it on credit card and then pay it off.
Okay, gotcha.
That was the best thing for me. And plus we had a lot of time. We had a lot of time. So if you have an opportunity to book your trip, far ahead, 6 months ahead, I would say do that. And a lot of teachers that I know that travel to a lot of different places, that's how they do it because, the June 28th, they're gone in 3 days. I'm going to this place or that place. They're usually taking off to go somewhere.
To relax.
Whether it's abroad or somewhere out of state.
Okay. Now, transportation. Traveling from the United States to Marrakesh. Some of our guests had some interesting situations, right? I know my flight got canceled twice. So what was your experience like?
I've learned that through this trip, and then also traveling while I think COVID is going to be around forever. Right. So with that being the case, I think that when you're traveling, learning from this experience, when you're traveling internationally, check with your carriers and see what's changed, or check with the municipality that you're traveling to see hey, my flight is connected in Spain. The numbers just went up in Spain.
Right.
That flight is canceled.
Gotcha.
Things of that nature. So that's what I got from this trip. Because I think we're going to be living with COVID for a while.
Yeah, especially the numbers came up in a lot of cities in the United States. And, we just got to be mindful of how we move around.
And that was the only real hiccup.
Okay, so
in terms of the planning, because we had to rebook.
So how about the flight itself? Like, how was that for you?
All right, being a tall guy, well, if you're going to do a trip that long, I don't care if you're 4'11" or if you're 6'5", the lowest you should go is economy plus.
Right. You need that.
Let me tell you something. 6 inches of leg room, being 6'2", it actually is, because if you go in economy, my knees are on the back of the chair.
Oh, wow. So
economy plus, I was able to stretch out, lean back. The person in front of me was able to lean back, and it wasn't like I'm ready to give them a shave. So economy plus would be the lowest you go.
Okay.
But definitely look to make sure you're comfortable during a flight, especially a long flight.
Gotcha.
And that made the difference.
Okay.
That made the difference. But I thought it was going to be torture, and bring something to read, do something that you're interested in. I like to read, so I wrote a book and I completed the book on the trip.
Oh wow! I slept the whole time, so.
No, you know what? I wanted to make sure that I was awake.
Gotcha.
To try to adjust to Moroccan time, because again, for your wedding, I didn't want to be the guy dragging around. I wanted to make sure that I'm ready, up, energized for anything, because I was up for anything that we were doing.
Okay. You definitely were, because you was at everything, and I was like, no, for the first 2 days, y'all got that. So, from Jamaica to you visited UK, you visited United States and Canada. What was your experience like making it, like landing in Africa for the first time? What was going through your mind like at that point?
When you land in Africa, you feel the soul of the place. And I've only had that experience a few times, Africa, landing in Morocco, on the continent, you feel the soul of the place. My university, that's how I chose it. Been on campus, felt the soul of the place. And then going to Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where Martin Luther King preached, you feel the soul of that place. And that was my experience going to the continent for the first time.
Oh, wow.
It was very, very profound feeling. I'm trying to put it in words, but it's really hard to articulate. And the beauty that I saw there. The breaking of myths about countries on the continent.
Right.
The airport is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
The airport is beautiful. The city is beautiful. And how the modesty of the outside of a lot of the buildings, and then once you step inside, it's just wonderful.
It's a different world.
It's wonderful.
So we had a dinner before the wedding, the night before the wedding. Let's talk about that. Like, we had a nice open bar. Then we had that escorted walk to the table. Like, what were you thinking and what were you feeling during that experience?
I was really just trying to be open to the whole experience, because I didn't know what to expect.
Okay, gotcha.
I did not know what to expect, and I was not trying to peek and see what was going on. I wanted to be surprised.
Gotcha.
And doing that, the experience was dope. I mean, you guys. I said to someone that nobody's talking this way. Nobody's talking this way. And they're gonna spend more,
right? And
they're gonna do a lot more,
right?
Nobody's gonna top this.
Yeah, man.
No one's gonna top this, because the love that was there. That's number one. And you guys brought people who were invested, in the union, and seeing you do well, right. So that's another thing that was there. It was a soulful wedding.
Awesome. Yeah. You're really about the energy and the spirit and everything like that.
Definitely.
That's super dope. So when you got to
everything, man.
So when you got to that table, right? Like the 50-person table, like, could you have imagined something like that? I mean, I know we had pictures to show people, right? But like, just seeing 50 people from different places coming together, like, what was that feeling like for you?
It was great. Like I said, everyone was there, was invested to celebrate and support you guys. One thing I was concerned with, like any, I guess that's the kid in you still trying to coming into the cafeteria. Where am I going to sit? Where am I going to sit there?
Right.
But you found yourself leaning down, talking to people 6 places down from you on other, even on opposite sides of the table.
Yeah, because it was, and I think that was kind of set up on purpose, right? It's because, like, you know, there are people sitting in cliques, but then you really wanted to reach out and talk to other people and talking across the table, but it wasn't like anybody was really yelling. You know what I mean? And the vibe was super dope, so definitely appreciate that. The next day, right? So next day, everybody's getting ready. The ceremony. Like, what are your thoughts? I appreciate you helping out.
That's my nature.
I was a producer at my own wedding, so I had Rhamon helping out with camera positioning. But, like, what were your thoughts that day? Because I know that was the day everybody was looking forward to. So you having such a long-term relationship with Jackie, like, what were the thoughts going through your mind at that time?
At that time, again, still a level of openness, and I knew it was going to be fly because it was Jackie, or Jackie was part of it.
Right.
But I wanted, as a friend, I wanted to make sure that it went as well as possible, as good as possible for her, for you. You know, for the family. You know, your dad came there, you traveled all that way. So this has to be the way they want it.
Right.
So, you know, if I see that, you know, I could jump in somewhere, I'm like, hey, why not?
Okay.
You know, because Jackie H was manning other things, and I was like, how's she gonna get to? Like, you need my help? Jackie was like, yeah, make sure you get that camera to this position. That's it. Boom. You know, I got that job done.
Okay. So we're getting things started. I'm not sure if you were already there, but, like, I had a little moment with my dad.
I saw that.
And then the vows, like, about the ceremony itself, like, what were your thoughts?
The ceremony was really heartfelt. That moment with your dad, you know, where you know, you expressed yourself and you were emoting and, you know, shedding some tears, which is not fear. It wasn't. I don't think it was nervousness, but it was just you know, it seemed like you were releasing a lot of, that moment allowed you to push out all negativity, bad experiences, and now you've emptied yourself totally to now make room for a lot of joy. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that your father, it seemed like he was praying over you. Yeah. I wasn't sure, I couldn't hear, but it just seemed as if, you know, he was holding your head, caressing your head, and, like, blessing you, giving you his blessing, and you know, telling you to go with God through this new phase once you've released release the past. Right. So that was definitely touching. The vows, extremely sincere. I like the fact of the minister, the woman who officiated the ceremony, didn't do the traditional sense. It was more, like I said, I like stuff that's connected to the soul, and that whole ceremony, you know, connected two souls together. Definitely. You know, and the souls that were there to see them all.
Awesome. Yeah, and we look. Jackie had a nice 4-page letter to me. You know, I appreciate you, babe. I was freestyling off the top, and there wasn't a dry eye in the audience.
No, man.
And you know, later that evening, we had an amazing. Actually, you know, I forgot we had an after party to the dinner in the palace.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that was.
I say palace, but it's the owner's house, right? We had DJ.
You can call it a palace. Don't let them be modest. You call it a palace.
That was super dope because although we had an open bar, we had, like, an open space for us to dance and really enjoy ourselves.
People could sit,
and people
chill,
could sit and
fireplace.
Chill. Yeah, man.
That was dope.
So most group trips, there's usually a lot of excursions, a lot of time spent, like, moving and shaking. This one, we really had just one event a day. What were your thoughts around, like, being able to pick and choose or just go to everything that you wanted to do?
Listen, I was going to everything. So, as much as I could. The only thing I sat out from was, I think we were leaving that restaurant. You guys were coming to the Medina. I was like, I've had enough for the day. I did it. I'm going to take myself home. But I was up for everything.
Nice.
I was up for everything. I personally don't think it was too much. You know, an event like that, I don't think, it was a wedding. It was a trip. Right. And it was, you were amongst friends. Right. But it was a wedding, so in my mind, you can't make it all about you. Right. You know, because you guys have set up things, you plan things, set things up for the guests to enjoy. So why not partake? Right. You know, if I didn't like the experience, I didn't like it, but it was there, offered, and I was thought of. Gotcha. In the excursion, so I'm going to try it out, and then also, the other motivator, just being on the motherland for the first time, I want to see it all.
So, what were your thoughts? So you went out to Medina the 21st, and again after the wedding. Like, having had that first time experience in the Medina, like I'm not sure if there's a market like that in Puerto Rico.
No, none of that.
Like
none of that.
The Medina is a very overwhelming space, especially when you go there during
Oh,
high time. Like, what were your thoughts?
I'm glad we had a guy.
You would have got lost.
My phone reception was crap. You know, because I've looked at a couple like travel videos that mention the Medinas in Marrakesh, and they say you Google Maps, and I was like, oh yeah, I can use Google. No bars.
Shout out to T-Mobile /Sprint. You guys are the real MVPs out there.
Listen,
I had service the whole time.
I had none except for the hotel.
Okay.
Right, but I would definitely. I'm glad we had a guide. I would have definitely got lost. But if you do want to pay that extra 10 or whatever those the cell phone companies offer to make sure you have reception and Google Maps, I would definitely recommend that. Being there with the shops. Thank God I watched some of the videos about haggling and not accepting the first price.
Right.
Because if you go there, they say, let's say a cup of some sort. Oh yeah, this is 100 dirham. I was told that, hey, you need to bargain and start at a third of that price. From all the videos that I saw, it said to do that.
Mind you, do
some research.
This is during Ramadan. So we're going in there, and post-Ramadan, they're like, look, we're just coming off a fast. This is the first sale of the day.
They will give you the sob story.
They
give you the sob story. But don't be afraid to walk away. Because remember I told you I bought the lamps for my Neos? I had to walk away from the guy because he had to go search for them.
Oh, wow.
We agreed on 50 per, right? Well, it was a 50 dirham, $5 per, right? And he came back because he had to walk a little while. He said, no, 70. I was like, okay. I walked away. He's, chasing me, following me. Then he kind of curses me. I don't understand what he said, but when you're being cursed.
Right.
So I kept walking. And then now he came, okay. We'll do it. I was like, no, then $5 off more, 45.
Oh, wow.
So I had to hit him again.
Oh, man.
But, the bargaining was good.
Okay. So what was your overall, now you've all the way here, you're getting ready to go. What's your thoughts? Like, I need to come back, or like, yo, this place was not that great, then...
No, I need to go back. I think there's stuff that in Marrakesh itself that I didn't see. And I definitely want to do the experience of the desert. Like the other people had like a 4 or 5 day extension.
Yep.
I definitely would have loved to do it, but I had to, come back for work responsibilities.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going back. That's a place I'm definitely going back.
Nice. So now having experienced international travel, experienced travel within the United States, plus Puerto Rico, like, what could you say about traveling while black, for you at least?
I've had good experiences.
Okay.
Particularly because of where I went and who I was going to see. So in terms of the United States, going to Houston, there's a black community. Going to Alabama, black community. Florida, black community. The only place I had a bad experience was New Haven, Connecticut.
There's nothing in New Haven right now.
Except for pizza.
Pizza?
That's it.
It's good?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's superb. It's superb. In my opinion.
Okay.
Right? But other than that, drive up and come back. You know what I mean? I don't, that's it. I'll stop there.
Okay.
Right? But I haven't had many instances of being a black person traveling and having a negative experience.
Gotcha.
I know the only thing that stood out to me on maybe 1 or 2 occasions in Morocco was that they were using the blackness to try to sell you a product of some sort.
Hey, Obama, hey, LeBron.
Yeah, Obama, LeBron. I'm like, that's pretty random. But, all right. Thank you. Much love.
Right.
That was it. I haven't had any negative experience.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that now that, pretty much COVID's going to be here regardless of what we think of it. For someone that's looking to get into travel, like, what are some tips that you would give them to really, like, get them jump started? Because your jump start was, hey, I'm going to travel as many of the domestic locations as possible. And then you're now starting to trigger into internet. Oh, let's give them the one of the tips. Should be the visa.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you out there.
No, this all good.
For some of y'all that followed me to getting my dad's visa,
I was right behind him.
When I got to the Moroccan embassy, the consulate in New York, they were like, hey, there's another gentleman that's going to Morocco on the same dates. Now, mind you, I think a lot of times a lot of us have been in the country for so long that we don't ask whether the person is a citizen or not, right? Yeah. And so, you know, the only person I can think of would have been you. And I was like, nah, he was like a tall black man. There wasn't too many other tall black men going on. Yeah. So I was like, Jackie, is Rhamon a citizen? She's like, I don't know, but who knows? Let's ask. So when did you realize, hey, I need to go get this visa situation?
Listen, all right, so I was trying to see what was happening with work.
Gotcha.
Right, and that's really the thing. I had gotten ill with COVID a couple of times. I had to stay out of work almost about 8 to 10 days, I think. Wow. So I couldn't take off too many days to go to the consulate to do it. So, you know, I could have done it earlier. No excuse. All right, I could have done it pre the COVID, the bouts of COVID, because we've known about the event for a long time. Right. And, you know, we booked tickets for a while too. So, but that was the thing that drove me to do it late. And I had to go there pleading and doing my song and dance and like, you know, but the guy was okay and he got it done for us. Right. But definitely if you're not a citizen of the United States, because the United States has damn near carte blanche almost everywhere. Right? But if you're not, definitely do it early as possible. If you know people who've traveled to the country you're traveling to, ask them about the process. Because, you know, I want to go back to the motherland. So we were talking, you were telling us about Ghana, where that process is better to go at this place, right? This consulate, rather than the one here, because you'll have you'll get through a lot faster. You know, so those are some of the questions. And then also I told a couple of people, like, hey, keep on me to make sure I get my citizenship next year. You know.
Let's talk about the global entry.
I got that.
You know, how clutch is that?
Extremely. Extremely. Whether you're going or coming. If you're going, you can go through TSA pre-check. You don't got to take your shoes off. It's not, I got my laptop. Nah, you ain't got to take it out as long as you only have one. You know, it's real easy. Coming back, you know, you come down and you see that long line starting to build, but then you have the kiosks for global entry. You go put your face there, take the picture, get the printout, goodbye. That's it.
And you don't have to be a U.S. citizen.
You don't have to be a citizen.
Entry. You just have to be at least a permanent resident and proper paperwork and
do that interview, the biometrics and stuff like that. It was easy. You know, so global entry is clutch. It's clutch.
Okay, so what else would you give people tips wise?
Definitely in terms of financially, book early. You know, or far out so that you can either pay it off. You know, I never understood the use of a travel agent, so maybe that's something you can arrange with a travel agent, like paying in increments for a particular trip. That might help you out. And then the travel agent might also recommend excursions, and you choose which ones you'd like to partake in. Okay. That's definitely one. But go. I would just say go. If it shows up, go. Because that's what most of my travel is in terms of seeing a lot of the states in the United States. Like the last state I went to was Denver. I was just watching something on television. Oh, that looks interesting. I'm gonna go, and it's about food. So they have Rocky Mountain oysters. There's freaking bull testicles fried, sliced up, look like Lay's.
Oh wow!
Right? I was like, you know what? I've tried bugs. I'll try that.
Okay.
Looked around online and found a deal.
Oh, nice.
And half the times you can find a good deal. I found a good deal to Denver. I found a good deal to go to Denver for about 4 days for like $600. So,
okay. Oh, wow, nice.
You know, flight included and flight and hotel. So I was like, there, let me try it out. And then I went all around the city.
Okay. So y'all heard it from him. You know, get your visas early.
Get them early.
Get that global entry. Be open. I mean, the biggest thing that I got out of the story was being open allowed them to really experience different cultures, different locations, and having an open mind and being like, hey, I'd at least try everything once.
Yeah, you didn't pay for it. You took you might have taken a long time to get there.
Right.
Why leave out an experience?
Definitely.
Get it all. Come back and say, okay, I like these 10 things and these 3 things I don't like.
Awesome.
So that's still a total of 13 experiences, you know?
All right. Well, thank you again for doing this.
No problem.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Travel Tuesday Happy Hour. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and click on that notification bell so you guys know when the next episodes drop. With that said, stay safe, travel more. Peace.
Peace.